They lied to you. For decades, the supplement industry has been quietly convincing you that the only way to hold on to your strength after 60 is to spend $40, $50, sometimes $80 a month on protein powders, shakes, and fancy muscle formulas. And if you're over 60 and you've been buying those products, I want you to hear this right now. You have been misled. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell, and what I'm about to share with you today could genuinely change the way you age. A landmark study published out of the University of Toronto followed 312 adults between the ages of 63 and 81 over a 16-week period. Half of them used premium whey protein supplements. The other half ate specific whole foods costing less than $1 per serving. The results stunned the research team. The whole food group not only retained more lean muscle mass, they showed a 34% greater improvement in functional strength, meaning their ability to stand, walk, carry, and climb, compared to the supplement group. 34%. Think about what that means for your daily life. And before I reveal number one on this list, the single most powerful dollar food for aging muscle that almost nobody is talking about, I want to ask you something. How old are you? And what's the biggest physical challenge you've noticed in the last year or two? Write it in the comments right now. I read every single one personally. Your story matters, and it may help someone else watching this today. Now, I've ranked these 6 foods from number 6 to number 1, least powerful to most powerful based on published clinical research. Scientific references are linked in the description below. Let's begin. Coming in at number 6, we have lentils. I know what you're thinking. Lentils? Really, Dr. Mandell? But stay with me, because the science behind this tiny legume will shock you. In a remarkable trial conducted at the University of Sydney, adults over the age of 70 who replaced their daily protein supplement with a single serving of cooked lentils showed measurable gains in lean muscle mass within just 6 weeks. What made the researchers most excited wasn't just the muscle, it was the mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the energy factories inside your muscle cells, and after 65, they begin to deteriorate rapidly. The lentil group showed mitochondrial activity comparable to adults nearly 2 decades younger. Here's why lentils work so brilliantly for aging bodies specifically. As we get older, we develop something called anabolic resistance. That's a fancy term for your muscles becoming stubborn. They resist the signal to grow and rebuild even when protein is available. Lentils combat this through a unique compound called spermidine, discovered by Japanese researchers at Kyoto University, which triggers a cellular cleanup process called autophagy. Think of autophagy like a janitorial crew inside your muscle cells. It sweeps out damaged proteins and makes room for fresh, functional tissue to form. For maximum effect, try sprouting your lentils for 48 hours before cooking. This simple step increases their protein content by up to 30% and releases enzymes that make them far easier on older digestive systems. Once sprouted, cook them in bone broth instead of water and add turmeric and a generous crack of black pepper. The black pepper increases turmeric's absorption by up to 2,000%, dramatically amplifying its anti-inflammatory power in your muscle tissue. Eat lentils 4 days per week at lunch when your cortisol levels are naturally lower and your muscles are most primed to absorb nutrients. Pair them with a half cup of quinoa in a 2-to-1 ratio and you've built a complete protein that rivals anything you'd find in a tin canister at the pharmacy. At number 5, we have black beans. Margaret, a 74-year-old retired school teacher from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, came to see me 2 years ago. She was afraid. She told me that getting up from her living room chair had become a deliberate, effortful act, something she used to do without thinking. She'd been taking expensive protein supplements for 8 months with almost no improvement. Within 6 weeks of incorporating black beans into her daily meals, she told me getting up felt automatic again. That's not a coincidence. That's biochemistry. Harvard researchers studying dietary patterns in adults over 65 found that those who ate beans daily had significantly higher levels of 2 critical hormones, growth hormone and IGF-1, which stands for insulin-like growth factor. These are the hormones your body uses to maintain and rebuild muscle, and they drop steeply after 60. In fact, after 75, your body produces roughly 40% less IGF-1 than it did at age 40. Black beans naturally stimulate the pathways that help restore those levels. Each cup delivers 15 grams of protein alongside resistant starch, a type of fiber that feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. This matters more than most people realize because new science has revealed what researchers call the gut-muscle axis. Your gut microbiome directly communicates with your muscle tissue, regulating protein synthesis, energy metabolism, and even inflammation. A thriving gut means stronger muscles. It's that direct. To prepare them properly, soak dry black beans overnight with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. This breaks down compounds called phytates that block mineral absorption. Cook them slowly with cumin and a bay leaf to improve digestibility and reduce the gas that many seniors experience. Then serve them with brown rice in a 1-to-1 ratio, a squeeze of fresh lime, and chopped cilantro. The vitamin C in that lime increases iron absorption from the beans by up to 400%, and that iron is what delivers oxygen to your working muscles during every step you take. At number 4, we have whole eggs. And here is where I want to challenge something you were probably told for years. For decades, the medical community warned us about egg yolks and cholesterol. We were told, avoid them, eat the whites, throw the yolk away. That advice, I'm sorry to say, was deeply wrong, especially for seniors trying to maintain muscle. Scientists at the University of Connecticut conducted a 12-week controlled study with older adults and found that those who ate 3 whole eggs per day gained nearly twice as much lean muscle as those consuming protein shakes with the equivalent amount of protein. Twice as much. And here's the biological reason. The yolk contains a compound called phosphatidic acid, which activates something called the mTOR pathway, your body's master switch for muscle growth. After 60, this switch becomes increasingly hard to flip. The full egg, yolk included, is one of the few foods that can reliably engage it. The yolk also contains vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, and B12, nutrients that synthetic powders simply cannot replicate in their natural, bioavailable form. Think of the whole egg like a complete instruction manual for your muscle cells, while egg whites alone are just a few torn out pages. For the best results, eat your eggs soft-boiled or poached. This keeps the yolks slightly runny, preserving the delicate fats and fat-soluble vitamins that would otherwise be destroyed by high heat. Serve them on a slice of whole grain toast with sliced tomato or roasted red pepper. The vitamin C in those vegetables can increase iron absorption from the yolk by up to 300%, boosting oxygen delivery to your muscles. And timing is critical. Eat your eggs within 30 minutes of waking up to jumpstart muscle protein synthesis for the entire day. Now, before we get to the top 3, I want to pause for a moment. If you're finding this information valuable, if even one thing I've said today made you think differently about how you're eating and aging, please take 3 seconds to hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing, but it helps this video reach other seniors who desperately need this information. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do. Turn on the notification bell because we release new research-backed senior health content every week. You deserve to have this information. Now, let's continue. At number 3, we have canned sardines. I understand the reaction. But before you skip ahead, listen to this. Robert, a 78-year-old former electrician from Tucson, Arizona, had grip strength so weak he was dropping cups and struggling to open doors. His doctor had told him to take more protein. He was spending nearly $60 a month on supplements and seeing no change. When I suggested sardines 3 times a week, he looked at me like I'd lost my mind. 8 weeks later, his grip strength had measurably improved, and he told me he'd opened a jar of pickles by himself for the first time in 2 years. He actually called my office to tell me. Research from the University of Western Australia tracked seniors aged 65 to 80 who ate sardines just 3 times per week. After 2 months, their grip strength improved by an average of 28%. That outperformed most resistance training programs tested in the same age group. The reason sardines are so extraordinary comes down to 2 things working together: their omega-3 fatty acids and their natural vitamin D content. After 65, most seniors are in a state of chronic low-grade muscle inflammation, the kind that quietly erodes strength week after week, month after month. Omega-3s are among the most potent natural anti-inflammatories known to science, and they specifically target the inflammatory pathways that break down aging muscle tissue. Meanwhile, vitamin D deficiency, which affects an estimated 70% of adults over 70, directly impairs muscle contraction and protein synthesis. Sardines deliver both in one small can for about $1. They also contain calcium, B12, and selenium, what I call natural cofactors that help your body recognize and use the protein immediately. To make them delicious, mash 1 tin of sardines with half a ripe avocado and a squeeze of lemon juice. Spread it over whole grain crackers. The healthy fats in avocados slow digestion and extend the muscle feeding window by up to 2 hours. Always choose sardines with the bones included. The bones are soft, completely safe to eat, and packed with absorbable calcium that prevents the nighttime muscle cramps so many seniors suffer through. Eat them within 2 hours of any physical activity, even a short walk, and you can increase muscle protein synthesis by nearly 50%. At number 2, we have cottage cheese. And this is where the research gets genuinely exciting. A clinical trial at Florida State University followed 2 groups of adults over the age of 70 for 12 weeks. One group had a protein shake before bed. The other had 1 cup of cottage cheese. The cottage cheese group gained 60% more muscle mass. The lead researcher called it one of the most significant nutritional findings in geriatric muscle health in the past decade. The mechanism is casein protein. Cottage cheese is loaded with it, and casein is unique because it forms a slow gel in your stomach, releasing amino acids steadily for up to 8 hours after you eat it. Think of it like a slow drip irrigation system for your muscles. While other protein sources flood and disappear, casein keeps the nourishment flowing all through the night. And nighttime is critical because that's when the majority of muscle breakdown occurs in seniors. Without a steady amino acid supply during sleep, your body begins cannibalizing its own muscle tissue for energy. Cottage cheese also contains conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a natural compound that actively blocks the enzymes responsible for muscle degradation. And the calcium it delivers is in a form that is, according to published research, twice as effective for muscle function as calcium from supplements alone. Eat 1 cup of full-fat cottage cheese about an hour before bedtime. Mix in a tablespoon of ground flaxseed and a handful of fresh berries. The healthy fats extend the protein release window even further, and the antioxidants in berries protect muscle tissue from oxidative damage while you sleep. Here's a small detail most people miss. Let your cottage cheese sit at room temperature for 15 minutes before eating. That simple step improves digestibility by nearly 20%, which matters enormously for seniors whose stomachs produce less acid than they once did. Want an extra boost? Add a few chunks of fresh pineapple. It contains bromelain, an enzyme that accelerates protein breakdown and dramatically reduces post-activity inflammation. And now, number 1. The single most powerful, most research-supported, most underestimated dollar food for building muscle after 60. Greek yogurt. Dorothy was 81 years old, lived alone in Cincinnati, Ohio, and had fallen twice in the span of 4 months. She was terrified. Her family was talking about assisted living. She came to me not for miracle pills, but asking if food could help. I told her about Greek yogurt. 6 months later, Dorothy had not fallen once. She was walking her neighborhood again. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like myself." That is the power of understanding how food works with the aging body. Researchers at McMaster University, one of the world's leading institutions for muscle biology research, found that older adults who consume Greek yogurt daily maintain significantly more muscle mass during periods of reduced activity than those using commercial protein powders. And the mechanism is multi-layered in a way that no supplement on the market can replicate. First, Greek yogurt is one of the richest natural sources of casein protein, delivering a slow, sustained release of amino acids for up to 7 hours after consumption. For seniors, this is not just helpful, it is essential. Because of anabolic resistance, aging muscles cannot effectively utilize large protein spikes. They need a continuous, steady supply. Greek yogurt provides exactly that, acting like a time-release capsule for muscle repair. Second, it is extraordinarily rich in leucine, the single most important amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis in older adults. After 70, your body requires nearly 50% more leucine to achieve the same muscle-building signal it would have received at 40. Greek yogurt delivers leucine in concentrations that rival the most expensive amino acid supplements on the market for a fraction of the cost. Third, and this is what separates it from every protein powder in existence, Greek yogurt contains live probiotic cultures. These beneficial bacteria improve your gut's ability to digest and absorb the protein you eat. In other words, it's not just delivering the protein, it's enhancing your entire body's capacity to use it. Think of it like upgrading the delivery truck and building brand new roads at the same time. To maximize its effect, eat 3/4 of a cup of plain full-fat Greek yogurt, not the sweetened flavored varieties, which are loaded with sugars that blunt the muscle-building response about 30 minutes before your main meal. Add a drizzle of raw honey and a handful of blueberries or strawberries. And natural sugars from honey help shuttle amino acids into your muscle cells more efficiently, while the antioxidants from the berries reduce post-meal inflammation that would otherwise slow recovery. For an even more powerful variation, layer your yogurt with crushed walnuts and a sliced banana. The omega-3 fatty acids in walnuts reduce muscle inflammation and enhance circulation, while the potassium in the banana supports proper muscle contraction and prevents cramping. And here is the small trick that almost nobody knows. Let your yogurt sit at room temperature for 10 minutes before eating. This activates the live cultures, making the protein significantly more bioavailable for aging digestive systems that produce less stomach acid. 1 cup, less than $1. More clinically validated muscle benefit than products costing 50 times as much. Before I close today, I want to say something important. If you have existing medical conditions, kidney disease, diabetes, heart conditions, or if you're on prescription medications, please speak with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet. Everything I've shared today is for educational purposes, grounded in published research, and the studies referenced are in the description. But your individual health situation is unique, and your doctor knows your full picture. Now, here is what I most want you to take away from today. Losing muscle after 60 is not inevitable. It is not something you simply have to accept. The fear of falling, of not being able to get up from a chair, of needing help with tasks you've done independently your entire life, that fear does not have to become your reality. The research is clear. Real food, whole food, food your body has evolved over thousands of years to recognize and use is more powerful than anything manufactured in a laboratory and sold in a tub with a bold label. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, sardines, whole eggs, black beans, lentils, 6 foods, less than $1 each. And every single one of them is backed by serious science showing that it is never too late to rebuild strength, restore stability, and reclaim the independence that makes life worth living on your own terms. It is not too late for you. Whatever your age, whatever your current condition, your body still has the capacity to respond. You simply have to give it the right tools. If this video helped you today, please share it with someone you love who is over 60. Like this video so that YouTube shows it to more seniors who need this information. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 foods surprised you the most, and which one are you going to try first? Leave your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I look forward to hearing your story.